using the new fusion Tatura Rimehide instead of Inquisitor Shamael for your Hydra teams. Is it going to be viable? That's the question. Let's get right into it. What up, team? It is your boy MurderInc here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are going to be going over the current holiday fusion here, Tatura Rimehide, what you can get if you choose to go for this champion. Timestamps below as always. Let's go over the skills first, then I'm going to show you this champion in a few places, specifically the Hydra clan boss, to see if you can use this champion and make a pretty solid team without Shamael for all difficulties. So, decrease accuracy A1, I'm pretty sure most people know the kit by now. Block debuffs, increase defense, perfect veil, shield, perfect veil not on this champion though. And we have this here, reflects 30% of the damage this champion receives back to the attacker, also has a 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Now, as far as progression goes, home run. This guy is a home run no matter how you look at it. Doom Tower potential. We are applying quite a few buffs here, so if you wanted to add this champion in one of your seer teams, this is the thing here. Seer teams are very hard to build for the Doom Tower. A lot of people are getting cut off in certain stages, and they're really struggling to hit those stats. This champion, along with Brogni, can help out a lot because they offer a lot more than just buffs to feed to your team, so that what's-her-face Seer can actually use it and compete here. So that's the thing with this. As far as masteries go, this is going to be the typical mastery tree you would want. Stats, this is how I built this champion. Really fast, decent HP, very high defense, already has 1400 base, I like that a lot. Base speed, also very good, 102 as we can see here. Crit rate, crit damage, we don't care. Accuracy, if you want to build accuracy just for this and the passive freeze for 1 turn, you can definitely do that. I wouldn't focus too much on it personally, like myself, but that is going to be a viable option for you. So this is what we have here. Now let's talk about the Hydra clan boss, what you can do. Now I'm not really sure where the idea behind the specific format of this team came from. I saw a clanmate do this. I saw on the test server that, what's his name? Okay, well, it's not there anymore, but I'm pretty sure Scratch did something like this. He used the Duchess instead. Now, of course, Duchess is very hard to come by champion, so it's not going to be very realistic for a lot of people. If you have Duchess, good on you, but this is going to be the team. It should still be there. Okay, so this is going to be the team that's going to be accessible to a lot of players, and let's talk about this. Venus, you don't need Venus. You can use Lydia instead if you choose to. Vogoth, pretty important for how I used him, but this is not a fine-tuned team. I really just wanted to showcase what Tatura Rimehide can do for the team. Godseeker Aniri, once again, not required, but she is helpful. 2 Royal Guards, not the best for this. The best would be Husk, surprisingly enough. Let's go and check on Husk really quick before I show you what the team actually does. So I believe Husk is a demon. No. Is he an undead? Husk. He is in fact an undead champion. So, I mean, I hope he is. Okay, Husk is no... he's not an undead either. Is he a Night Revenant? This could take a while. Okay. If I was a Husk, where would I be? I would probably be an Ogren, right? Husk. Okay, so Husk is no longer an Ogren. Not that he ever was. Am I getting trolled here? There's no way he's a Skinwalker. Husk? Nope. Is he a Dark Elf? Maybe. Nope. Is he an undead? Of course he's an undead. Where's Husk? Okay, so Husk is an undead. Can confirm. Took me 1 try to get it. So this is what we're talking about right here. This A2 decreases damage based on enemy max health. Why is this guy better than other champions? He's an HP based champion. Enemy max HP is going to be limited on the Hydra bosses. So building an attack based champion that does this same job, not the smartest move, unless you just want them to die. And like I said, you can use that Duchess strategy, although Husk is still going to be better for that strategy as well, because once again, he's going to live longer. So this hits pretty hard. I don't think any of the other champions can compete with this skill. On top of the enemy max HP, provoke doesn't matter, you're not going to need that at all. So this guy, you're just going to stack HP, defense, hit the thresholds for the crit rate, crit damage here. Let me see if I can find, I know the clanmate MacChan posted something yesterday, I believe. Okay, so this is what he did yesterday. He did on Nightmare 22.38 million damage with Duchess, Kaimar, Lady Kimi, Venus, Husk. Unfortunately only had one, and then Royal Guard here. This was his breakdown damage. As we can see, Husk significantly outshining Royal Guard here because he's much tankier, easier to keep alive, and he probably got, it's actually looking like he got an additional enemy max HP hit out on the entire team here, which is very, very good news. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure I fed like 1,000 Husks. So if I wanted to use this strategy, I would definitely go with 2 or 3 Husks. Now, who has 2 or 3? I'm not sure. Maybe you have 1 and you can luck out with this strategy here. So I would recommend using a tanky enemy max HP champion. There's currently a bug with Calvalix right now where he's not doing enemy max HP. I'm not sure why. I will find the answer to that. As far as Venus goes, Lydia works as well here. But I didn't use this specific team here because this is kind of really a whale team, and 99% of players are not going to have these champions here. So I wanted to kind of dumb things down a little bit, and I did record a video that I'm going to show you all here shortly. So let's get that rolling, and you guys can see what I came up with. So this is going to be the run, I believe, here. Okay, so as you can see, I am using Venus here. Now this is where things come in handy. I will full screen this. So he has a perfect veil, so he's going to be going first in your team regardless of the difficulty. Then you want a defense down champion, and this is where the Royal Guard is just going to start slamming damage here. One reason why I like Husk as well is he's going to be weak for, I believe, 2 of the heads here. Of these 2 heads, these are the most irrelevant heads in my opinion, because Mischief has negative health, Suffering has an insane amount of health, so it's very unlikely that even if you stacked 4 Royal Guards, you have a chance of killing the Suffering head. So of course that's going to be specific for this rotation. This can change down the line, but the 2 heads you want to kill are going to be Torment and I believe Decay. Torment and Decay. One removes all debuffs, that's really bad, and one's going to just be fearing your team, that's also really bad. So you can kind of see the synergy here. Why do I have Vogoth here? Vogoth is really, really good, and he's going to be, in my opinion, probably the basis for a lot of these teams going forward here. So this is a resistance Vogoth, and he starts with a divine set, so he's practically at base speed. I think he's at like 118 speed just because I had to use divine speed. So he's going to be targeted 24/7 because he's so slow by the head of Mischief, making him irrelevant. So he can just slowly die to these enemy max HP hits and from the HP burn with Venus. Like I said, if you don't have Venus, your damage would probably be a little bit smaller here. So we have a bunch of debuffs here. This team is not speed tuned either here. It's ideal to keep this reflect damage here, and you are going to see why. So now we're going to place another perfect veil buff on everyone but Tatura Rimehide. Now this is why he's never going to be as good as Duchess. He himself is going to get true feared, or at least the debuff on himself every single time, which is not good. So with that being said, this is the team so far. We have, of course, his very strong, okay, he got feared there, perfect example, case in point. We have 2 turns left for this Royal Guard. He's going to kill himself, completely refresh the stacks of the Devour, as we can see here. Now, this champion, we don't want to kill him just yet. We want to get that revive up by Godseeker Aniri, refreshing that enemy max health hit, and we get to use it again. Now I don't want to use it with reflect damage because we already reset that. The goal here is going to be refresh it with an oncoming champion. Another reason why Vogoth is good, as we can see, and once again, Godseeker Aniri just doing incredible things here. There's going to be a replacement for her as well. Like I said, this is just to kind of showcase what this new fusion can do in the Hydra. This is not like a cleaned out team by any means, so don't be looking to copy. I'm going to show you the stats, of course, but this is on Brutal, I believe. Yeah, this is Brutal. This is going to be a very easy 2-key once everything's tuned here. You're not going to need a Kaimar. You're not going to need insane legendaries for this. As we can see, I'm using 4 very strong epics plus the fusion here, and then of course Venus is in a role that can be replaced by a lot of champions. So we have 5 stacks left. I did choose to sacrifice the Royal Guard here, moving the 14th turn. It did reduce by 1 consumption to the fusion champion here. Now we have 1 turn left on this revive, both Royal Guards down, so this is where things can kind of cascade, which is why you're going to want to, well, not you're going to want to, but I'm going to figure out a speed tune for this to make sure all of these things work well. Yes, I could probably add some type of turn meter booster that would help things for sure. Resetting cooldowns, like I said, most people don't have Kymar, and why would you want to waste a Kymar? I mean, if you have unlimited silver, it's definitely a viable option to waste the Kymar in Hydra, but there's going to be ways to do without that because you really don't need to kill all of the heads that quickly. Now, this is why this team is not as ideal. So we're going to be killing the Head of Mischief and the Head of Torment decently quickly with this strategy, but I want to kill the Head of Decay because, as you can see, I'm clicking here saying, okay, when is he gonna ruin my whole team? This prevented me from placing the defense down on weaken, which is not good. You always want to place the defense down on weaken. The fact that I had to do this is because this head's still alive, and as we can see, the damage is a lot higher on Suffering and Mischief because I have double Royal Guard. So in turn, I wouldn't want that at all. I would want someone like a Husk absolutely demolishing the 2 heads on the left here. That would make this run so much easier. Cannot stress that enough. So now I'm going to be cycling through here. Don't want to use the enemy max HP because I don't have defense down, and the champions aren't geared to handle that. So we're going to be placing that perfect veil on our champions here. Vogoth, once again, you can see he's just healing like a madman. As we can see, we don't have to worry about this head right here stripping anybody yet, so we can use this. We're closer to breaking out the Tatura Rimehide, which is good because we're about to run out of perfect veil buff, which could be a problem. Once again, Head of Mischief completely useless, just hitting this Vogoth here, also healing my team every time he does hit it. So revive on death, huge. Now we're going to revive this Royal Guard here. That one died unfortunately, which is why once again you want a tanky champion instead of a Royal Guard. Now we can use HP burn, break out Tatura, and this is the basic concept of this team here. Like I said, this is on brutal. The gear I'm using is not really, I don't know, it's not like the best gear. I'm going to show you the stats here. I did hit the resistance requirement. Everyone's insanely fast here. If you wanted to remedy that, you would get rid of Godseeker Aniri. Even though she is really strong here, you can add a turn meter booster. Or if you only need a defense down champion, someone like a Deacon with the speed lead, probably huge. I didn't even think of that until now. So you can use Deacon in that leader spot. Get rid of the weaken because you don't really need the weaken. The only reason I'm using what's-her-face here, what's-her-face being, the only reason I'm using this chick is because she has an AoE HP burn, which can help for a blight head when it does pop up. HP burn, of course, has very good synergy in countering that poison head. So that's why I'm using this. I do believe something's wrong with Tatura's animations. As you can see, he's turning completely to the side and using an ability that's hitting the champion. So it is what it is here. So we use this guy, not enough damage to break that shield, which is why you would want 2 enemy max HP champions. One is not going to cut it here. Of course, this gets better the higher difficulties you use this in. I mean, I guess it's all relative to the top chest, so it can be viable for the lower difficulties as well, but the fact that this works without a Duchess and with this new fusion is very good news for a lot of people who don't have Shamael. If you do have Shamael, you can use Shamael instead of Tatura Rimehide, or you can use it with, because he's not just there for the perfect veil, he has tons of other buffs here. However, if you do that, keep in mind you're going to want someone like a Vogoth to take what's-his-face out of the match. This is the only problem here. We have the Head of Mischief, full health, and yeah, this is just not good. So basic principle of this team here, as you can see, I'm at 11 million damage. So that's going to be this video here. It does go on a little bit longer, I think, to 13 or 14 million damage. So with a team composition like this that isn't maximized or built for the Hydra at all, I kind of just threw gear on and said, this is the basic turn order I'm going to use. You can do very good damage on brutal. So I was at what, 12 million. So I was just shy of let's see, I would need 15 million to chest this, and I did not, the only thing I did was speed tune the team to have a certain order. So if I really min-max the health of these champions, I mean, I know for a fact the Royal Guards had way too much crit damage, assuming there's defense down, because once again, it is capped. So if you want to know that, you can look at Doom Tower videos, finding out the very low requirements. I think it's like, what, 230% crit damage with defense down. That's all you need. I know for a fact my Royal Guards, since they are built for Fire Knight, have like, I want to say 295 because I don't use the defense down. So of course you do want at least defense down on these champions here. And the goal is always going to be to kill the champion that's going to cleanse the debuffs. That can be a huge problem here. Now, if you have Duchess, like I said, this fusion doesn't even matter to you. This is just like a huge extra for you. But let me just show you the gear of these champions really quickly. So if I remember correct, we did have Venus, very fast champion, 264 speed, health a little bit low, accuracy, I'm pretty sure this is nightmare accuracy, so this accuracy is way too high for the content, so I lost tons of stats in defense and HP, and probably even speed for that matter. Like I said, not an optimized team at all, which is really good news if I could almost 2-key this. So the other champion I used was indeed not Kaimar. Okay, Tatura Rimehide, if you don't know already, has very strong. Hopefully you can see this and I'm not blocking it. Yes, so it's above me. 102 speed, 1,400 base defense, 20,000 base HP. So this guy is really good base stats. From speed, defense to HP, very rare you see all three stats this good on a champion like this. So once again, I'm talking about strictly Hydra right now. These are the speeds I run for this. If you want to use this guy for any other progression content, he's a home run. No doubts about it. We have 4 books, 5, 6 books, 7, 8, 9 legendary books. Let me just double check that. We have 5 and 4. Yes, we have 9 legendary books for this fusion. Happy about this. It's about time they didn't release a 13 book legendary. Would have been even happier with 6, but 9. I was expecting this to be worse. Personally, I know a lot of you were as well, and I'm really happy with this. I think this is an overall really good fusion here. So block debuffs, increase defense, strong of course, perfect veil, shield on himself, also strong. We already saw his use, increases defense in Doom Tower. We kind of talked about that seer thing already. And on top of this, who else did we use for our run? Godseeker Aniri, she's wearing refresh accessories. Ideally, I would want her in Relentless gear or Reflex gear. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. Reflex gear would be very strong on this champion. Her speed's a bit high for what I was running in Brutal. Good health, good defense, and yeah, that's all we really care about here. The other champion that matters is going to be, who do we use? Okay, double Royal Guards. Yeah, like I said, you don't need this gear. Savage gear is pretty much irrelevant since it's capped for enemy max HP. 278, way too high. 232 speed, no reason for him to be that fast. This 2-4, okay, so this one's actually decently built. 51,000 health. I mean, the defense is kind of bad once again. I would want, so this is where it comes into the meta of Husk being so strong compared to Royal Guard. You want to be building tanky enemy max HP champions so they get multiple turns. Now, tanky, I know you're saying, but you have to kill the guy anyways. You're going to kill him with your enemy max HP on that reflect damage. So don't worry about that. You're never going to outlive that, no matter how much you plan ahead for building defensively. So this is a very good build here. The speed can be lower for sure. This is probably good speed for... This is actually even way too fast for Nightmare. Not really sure why I have him this fast. Probably just how the speed went. But this is a really good build for someone like a Husk. Royal Guard if you have to use him. And who else? Calvalix, like I said, is bugged. Maybe I didn't say that, but he is bugged at the moment. He's not doing enemy max HP. Vogoth, this is the key guy here and really like the holding this team together. This is the target for Head of Mischief. You don't have to look at him ever again. He's just, Head of Mischief's just going to target this guy, heal him, and then heal your team in return over and over again. All you have to do is look at the resistance you need for whatever difficulty you're on, build him like this, build him with as low speed as possible. Divine set is going to be perfect here. For some reason, this mastery isn't working in the current team I'm using. Now, I know the mastery works and counts as a buff. However, I believe there's a champion I'm using. I don't know who, because no one else has steadfast. It could possibly be Tatura, the brand new champion, which is right here. There can be something about this champion, whether it's his passive or something else that is counting as a buff that I'm overlooking, because if I don't run divine set on what's his face, Vogoth, he doesn't get targeted, which he should be with steadfast, like I already said, because it does in-game count as a buff everywhere else in the game. So I'm going to have to do some research on that, figure out why that is the case. I couldn't figure it out already, not that I spent too much time on this. I do plan on min-maxing this team, getting viable speeds for everybody, for all the difficulties, and you should no longer be doing 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million damage in your keys here. I don't recommend just throwing like all of your royal guards, and I don't recommend doing that because that's literally a cheese and you're going to be, I don't know, listen, if it gets you the damage, do it. But if you want a consistent team that's going to work on every single, I guess, season of this boss, you're going to want to be smart about the champions you use. You want survivability. Brogni is going to be a good choice for survivability. Attack down, someone like a Padma, really strong in a comp like this if you can fit it in there. So that's why I'm kind of working on this and not just throwing a team out, showcasing 2 champions and everyone else is like kind of relevant to the fact there. So this is good news for this fusion. I'm overall pretty happy with the fusion. I thought he was going to be a lot worse, and arguably he is. It's kind of a gamble for the Hydra as of right now with the team I currently have, but I do think it's going to be a huge step up for a lot of players. Now, if you have this champion and Shamael, I mean, no doubt about it, you're going to take Shamael over this guy, and the team I'm kind of showing you is going to be viable for many difficulties as long as you build them tanky enough. But if you don't have Shamael, Tatura Rimehide is going to be very, very good, because the only other option that I can think of is Duchess, and I guess Rector Draft being like a lesser version of Duchess, and Duchess is not a common champion by any means, so I would never want to show that as a viable strategy, but as an option I'm going to note it, of course, because that's what you do. If you have Duchess, use Duchess instead of this champion, and unless you think he looks really cool, you can just skip this fusion overall, because Duchess is 10 times better than Tatura Rimehide. However, for everyone else who don't really care about, or they're not quite at the Hydra, I guess, stage in their gameplay, let's just go ahead to campaign here. I'm going to show you his animations very quickly. Let's go to recently used, see if the game's working yet. Of course it's not working, so back to the drawing board. We want a green affinity champion, Mr. Lion, let's get it. So his animations, as we already saw, is a bit wrong. Let's see this. Yeah, so he's turning to the side. 99% sure this is going to be fixed. This is just what his block debuffs look like. And this is his attack all enemies skill. This one's pretty cool. It's kind of like a Frost version of, what's the champion? Can't think of it. Grohawk. Grohawk has a red meteor he slams down. But this is kind of a funny animation how he turns to the side. This is going to look a lot cooler when he's actually focusing the target, sending that frost beam or whatever he's doing directly at the champions. But for now, this is kind of a really funny meme. And okay, so he didn't freeze that champion. He does have enough accuracy to do that. So 30% chance of freezing. It is what it is. We get what we get here. So here's that AoE once again. Boom. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this Christmas fusion. I mean, I should say holiday fusion to be politically correct here, but champion looks good, in my opinion at least. Champion's kit, crazy for progression. Crazy, crazy. If you're early game, mid game, this is a no-brainer to get this guy. He's going to make your life so much easier. For more endgame players, if you don't have Inquisitor Shamael, this guy is a guarantee. If you go for him, you don't have to pull him from shards. I mean, you could, but you don't have to. This guy also is easier to get than Inquisitor Shamael, of course, if you just got baited by that 2x void we just had and didn't pull him, so that's that. So overall, I like this champion a lot. This is a major improvement over last year's fusion for sure. Hopefully they keep this track record going forward. It would be nicer if it's really hard to make a champion that's good for early game players and end game players. This is kind of only viable because the Hydra exists and not everyone has Inquisitor Shamael to cleanse those fears. But I guess I can say they're taking a step in the right direction for sure. Alright guys, that's going to conclude this video. Give me your thoughts on Tatura Rimehide. What do you think? And I just realized I've been saying the name wrong the whole time. Rimehide, I guess, is the correct pronunciation. So what do you guys think of Tatura Rimehide? Are you going to go for it? Are you going to elect to stick with the fusion epic champions, or are you going to pursue this guy? Let me know. I look forward to working on this composition and really fine-tuning what we can do with this guy in the Hydra boss for those struggling without Inquisitor Shamael. So that's going to conclude this. Give me your thoughts, give me your feedback, and as always, if you enjoy this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and I will see you all in the next video.